EVs were supposed to be the future. Not everyone is buying it. Electric vehicles, EVs, were once heralded as the future of transportation, a bold solution to our environmental crisis and a beacon of innovation. Promising to cut greenhouse gas emissions, reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, and revolutionize the automotive industry, EVs seem poised to usher in a new era of sustainable travel. Governments worldwide have backed this transition with subsidies, incentives, and ambitious targets to phase out internal combustion engines. Yet despite these advancements and supportive policies, widespread adoption remains elusive. High costs, limited range, and charging inconveniences still deter many potential buyers, while cultural ties to traditional cars and concerns about battery production and disposal further complicate the shift. This video delves into the multifaceted reasons behind the tepid embrace of EVs, exploring economic, technological, cultural, and psychological barriers that challenge the journey toward a more sustainable future. 1. High initial spending. Their great initial cost is one of the main obstacles to the general acceptance of electric cars. Although EV prices have been declining over time, they are still generally higher than those of their internal combustion engine ICE equivalents. A major component of the car, the battery's cost, helps to explain this difference mostly. While government subsidies and incentives help to balance the cost, these are not always accessible or enough to make EVs a desirable choice for the typical consumer. 2. Restricted driving range. Potential EV consumers have great worry about range anxiety. While some new models can run more over 300 miles per charge, many more reasonably priced choices have far less range. In locales with little charging infrastructure, such rural areas or those with vast distances between stations, this restriction is troublesome. Running out of power during a trip adds more difficulty and risk for consumers. This ambiguity concerning battery range can discourage possible consumers, thereby stressing the need of developments in battery technology and large charging networks to solve these issues. 3. Charging infrastructure. Mass acceptance of electric vehicles depends critically on the availability and accessibility of charging infrastructure. While charging networks are now much expanded, many places still lack enough coverage. Accessing charging stations can be a practical nightmare in urban environments where many people live in flats or houses without separate parking. Furthermore, not as common as required are fast charging stations, which can recharge an EV's battery in a quarter of the time compared to conventional chargers. 4. Time of charge. Recharging an EV can be far more time-consuming than fueling a gasoline vehicle, even with fast chargers. Although a gas tank can be full in a few minutes depending on the charging technique and battery capacity, charging an EV usually takes 30 minutes to several hours. For many consumers, particularly those with hectic schedules or frequent long travels, this prolonged idleness might be problematic. Recharging an electric vehicle still takes a lot of time, which emphasizes the need of more effective charging options and better infrastructure to suit consumers' requirements. 5. Disposal and battery life. Other grounds of conflict are EV batteries' environmental impact and lifetime. Over time, batteries deteriorate, which reduces range and performance. Changing an electric vehicle battery can be costly, therefore perhaps negating the long-term fuel and maintenance savings. Furthermore, challenging the environment are battery disposal and recycling. Although attempts are underway to enhance battery recycling technologies, the process is still not as effective or broad as it should be to handle the mounting quantity of spent batteries. 6. Extreme weather performance. In severe storms, electric cars may be less dependable. For example, low temperatures may greatly lower driving range and battery efficiency. Potential EV owners should give this great thought in areas with severe winters. Likewise, high temperatures can influence battery lifetime and performance, hence hastening degradation. Because of these performance questions, consumers in places with harsh weather would be reluctant to make EV investments. These weather-related problems underline the necessity of more developments in battery technology to guarantee constant performance under many environmental situations. 7. Emotional and cultural aspects. For many customers, vehicles represent a statement of their identity and freedom rather than only a means of mobility. Consumer preferences are significantly influenced by the sound of a strong internal combustion engine, the simplicity of refilling, and the familiarity with conventional automobiles. Some people are not ready to welcome the major cultural upheaval that is the switch to electric automobiles represent. Adopting new technologies might be seriously discouraged by the emotional tie to traditional vehicles and the nostalgia connected with them. 8. Political and economic affections. More general political and economic considerations shape the shift to electric cars. Widespread EV adoption may cause disturbance to the quite significant international economic impact of the oil sector. Political pressure from this industry and lobbying help to hold down the execution of EV-friendly infrastructure and legislation. Moreover, changes in oil costs can affect consumer choices. Reduced gas prices might make conventional cars more desirable than their electric counterparts. Government subsidies for electric vehicles can also differ depending on administration and area, therefore introducing still another degree of uncertainty for buyers and producers. The degree and speed of EV acceptance are strongly influenced by these political and economic variables. 9. Technological and market uncertainties. Though it is still developing, EV technology has advanced quickly. Customers could be reluctant to buy current models because they worry that major upgrades or price cuts in the near future might make their purchase useless or financially foolish. The fast-paced nature of technological progress generates uncertainty that makes possible customers' wait-and-see behavior more likely. Concerns regarding the lifetime and performance of current models, as well as the possible development of new, more efficient technologies that might outdate present EV offers, intensify this cautionary approach. 10. Availability range of models. The market is still small compared to conventional automobiles, even if the range of electric vehicle types has grown. Customers have particular tastes and needs, hence the accessible electric vehicles might not satisfy them. The small selection of options can discourage possible consumers from changing their body type, performance, quality, or brand loyalty decision. For instance, some consumers might be looking for a little city automobile, while others would rather have a strong SUV or a sports car. This lack of variety in EV choices implies that possible consumers might not find a model that fits their tastes or way of life, therefore hindering the acceptance of electric cars. 11. Misconceptions and insufficient knowledge. Though knowledge of electric cars is rising, there are still misunderstandings and little data about them. Stories about the dependability, safety, and economy of EVs still affect customer impressions negatively. The intricacy of knowledge on charging alternatives, range capabilities, and maintenance needs overwhelms many possible purchasers. This knowledge gap causes uncertainty and resistance, since consumers might not be sure they can handle these additional features of car ownership. Moreover, extensive false information might lead to unwarranted anxiety and uncertainty, therefore discouraging people from looking at EVs as a feasible substitute for conventional cars. Increasing the acceptability and use of electric vehicles depends on addressing these false ideas by means of education and open communication. 12. Ethical and environmental issues. Although EVs are praised as being ecologically benign, their manufacture and disposal have ethical and environmental consequences. Particularly in areas where mining activities are poorly controlled, the extraction of materials for batteries, including lithium, cobalt, and nickel, causes great environmental damage and poses major human rights questions. These problems can influence environmentally sensitive buyers who might doubt the general viability of electric cars. Moreover, sped battery disposal and recycling create extra environmental difficulties. While recycling technologies are under development, the procedures remain not as effective or extensive as required. This duality in the environmental impact of EVs being green in use but possibly damaging in production and disposal confuses the story and causes some possible purchasers to hesitate in changing to electric vehicles. Conclusion. Long hailed as the revolutionary solution for a more sustainable future, electric vehicles (EVs) promise to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, lessen our reliance on fossil fuels, and transform the automotive sector. Despite significant advancements and growing support through government subsidies and infrastructure improvements, widespread adoption of EVs remains elusive. High initial costs, limited driving range, and the inconvenience of charging deter many potential buyers. Cultural attachments to traditional vehicles, concerns about battery life and disposal, and skepticism surrounding the overall environmental impact further complicate the issue. Additionally, the influence of political and economic factors, technological uncertainties, and the limited range of available models contribute to a cautious consumer attitude. Understanding these challenges is essential as we navigate the path toward a more sustainable future, with EVs at the forefront of this transformative journey. Let us know in the comments what you think about the EVs were supposed to be the future. Not everyone is buying it, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.